Hey guys, how's it going? Jenazad here. So I wanted to talk about Stella Sora, and there's a lot of talk about this game recently. It just came out yesterday, and I played it a fair bit, as much as the game basically was allowing me to without spamming all of my refreshes and everything. And I have a lot to say. First of all, this game has some really good things about it, but it has a ton of bad things. And the big bad things you've probably heard of is monetization. But another bad thing I would also say is the level of time gating. First, let's start with some of the good things. I would say overall, the characters look alright. Not my favorite character designs I've ever seen in games. I mean, this character, I don't know, looks like Miku. This is the classic hot nun character. You got a hot teacher character, and you got like a bunch of 10-year-olds and stuff like that. Classic. But the characters, overall, fine. The actual menus and everything look pretty nice. I would say this is probably one of the smoothest and best PC launches I've ever seen for a gacha game. Menus and everything super fast, super quick, feels really smooth, doesn't really feel laggy, cumbersome at all. I think that's really good, because you rarely see that level of quality from any PC launch, especially for gacha games, because they usually put way less effort into the PC launch than phone, because that's what they care about. The combat itself is decent. I wouldn't say that the combat is really going to win any awards, but it's essentially a roguelike. Like, think of a game like Hades or something like that. It's an action RPG roguelike where you have 3 characters, then you have, essentially these are weapons or essentially equipment for your team. So you have these 3 are the main ones that give special effects, and then these ones give these musical notes, and those musical notes give you stats based on which notes you have, and there's like 9 different ones or something like that. And this is how the game essentially plays. You automatically attack enemies that are near you, right? And then, I mean, I killed them so fast, but then you have like dodge, you get abilities at the end of each round, and you'll get more musical notes that give you extra boosts. But then you also, when you're not just auto-attacking, you also have some skills. You can summon your partners to attack, but essentially you just go through floors of the game over and over, and that's how the game works, right? So if you like a game like Hades or something, or roguelikes, it might be a game that's kind of interesting to you. Now, here's the problem. That stuff all kind of sounded fine. However, let's talk about the issues that are going to potentially completely torpedo this game in the West. I'm not sure about Japan, because I think Japan has been browbeaten so hard by so many cheap, stingy gachas that at this point it's kind of more the norm. Let's talk about the pull system. Okay, this game's pull system is pretty wild. If you want to do a 10 pull, it is 3,000 of these gems. So that doesn't really mean much on its own, because it depends on how fast you get those gems. Well, let's talk about it this way. When the game was in beta, it was 1,500 gems to do a 10 pull. Okay, well, maybe they made it 3,000, but then they increased the amount you get, right? No, they didn't. They did not increase the amount of gems you get from anything at all before release. They just straight up doubled the amount that you need to do a 10 pull. That already is completely crazy, but let's look at some of the math of this game. You daily get 100 of this currency, and if you buy the monthly pass, you get 90. So that would be 190 a day. To get a full pity on a character, it would be 189 days spending $5 a month as well, right? That's ridiculous, right? And then the $100 pack after the top-up bonus, which, you know, the top-up bonus gives twice the amount the first time, is $338 for a single character in this game. And then you also have the weapon. That's pretty ridiculous. Also, so they have this number right here. One time only, 70 remaining recruits to claim. So this is 120 pulls to be able to get this character guaranteed, right? But the thing is, that's only the first time you get them. Then it's 160 pulls to be able to get that unit again guaranteed, right? Now, the real issue with this is I believe that this 120 pity does not carry over. I believe this is confirmed to not carry over. I'm not 100% sure, but the 160 pull counter does carry over, but not this one, which is kind of completely ridiculous. So you're telling me you got these kinds of prices, you got this kind of daily income, and then it's like that? And another issue is just, if you're looking at the overall shop, it's like, look, you got the monthly pack, then you can buy materials classic, like those are the packs. Very Hoyoverse classic shop. This is, I mean, very inspired by Hoyoverse. It doesn't have good packs, right? A lot of games, especially in the past for gacha, would have like, oh, this is a great deal pack. Like, it would say, this is worth 800%. And sure, it might be stupid and trying to like kind of lure you in, but they usually would be better value packs. But now we're going back to the classic, okay, well, you just need to buy this ridiculous pack, right? $100 and you're getting like, what, 40 pulls? 40 something pulls? 30 something pulls? Somewhere around there after the double top-up bonus is gone. Which is just completely absurd, right? This is obviously a huge issue. Now, one other thing that I really want to talk about really quickly too is I think this game's time gating is kind of absurd. Yesterday, I started playing this game. I got to level 7. Some people got to like level 8. And then if people spent money, I think they got to like level 9, 10, and even 11. I think they had to spend money for that. But essentially, the time gating, after like 2 or 3 hours, I was already completely out of things to do. Like, I just couldn't do anything yesterday. And I understand some games might want to time gate you so that, you know, you log in every day and you want to keep doing stuff, but the time gating felt so egregious that it didn't really make me want to keep playing. I was just kind of annoyed. I mean, I am going to keep playing the game. I want to fully see how this game is, but it seemed a bit ridiculous that you weren't getting any experience for your account or anything by doing any of these roguelike runs. You would only get it by spending stamina, which is for materials to upgrade your characters. And some of these material costs to upgrade some of these characters are a little bit ridiculous as well, but it'll be really frustrating where it's like, okay, I want to upgrade my character. Oh, you just can't do difficulty 4 until level 11, right? And I unlocked level 3 and I was like, oh, nice, now I can get this better top hat, right? Oh, that's awesome. Now I can upgrade my character more. So I go to my character, I go to upgrade, and it said, oh, you need to be another level to be able to upgrade this character. And I was like, what? Level 8. So I can unlock the thing to get the materials, but then I can't even upgrade the character. That just seems a little bit ridiculous to me, that the game is time gating all these different things at different levels too, like staggering it. It seemed really frustrating. And then you also have this Menace Arena thing, which, get a load of these characters. Not playable, by the way. You can only play children. No, but then they have this game mode. Oh, I can't do this until level 9? Why? Why do I have to wait so long to do this kind of stuff? Some of the most fun things in roguelike games is pushing yourself. You're trying to challenge yourself. Get over that next hump, right? You want to be able to fight something that might be able to beat you that you can barely clear. But this game seems to throw that out the window, which is one of the most fun things about a roguelike, and it's basically like, no, you are only allowed to play this when you are strong enough. And that just doesn't seem all that fun, really. And after playing through the game, I mean, I gotta say, it's really easy, right? Now, every gacha game, let's be honest, almost every gacha game starts out really easy. Basically, a baby on an iPad can mash buttons and beat the first stuff that you're fighting in a game, right? But usually, depending on the game, it might get harder as it goes on. This game so far hasn't really gotten harder after 3 or 4 hours. It's still been pretty easy. I mean, not only does it have an auto button, but I mean, if I hit auto and just stood there in the hardest content, yeah, maybe it would kill me, but does that really mean the game's difficult? Not really. For a roguelike, I really think that they should be adding more difficulty. I think it's a bit ridiculous. Now, let's go back to talking about a few of the gacha things. Here's one thing that I found absolutely crazy in this game. So, this is a 4-star. And obviously, 4 stars have dupes. Take a look at this, though. So, the dupe is going to give me 18% attack after she ults, right? Let me use this dupe. I have now activated half of the dupe. I don't have the whole dupe. I activated half of the dupe. This is just ridiculous. Like, hello? What's even the point? I just upgraded half the dupe? So this is only for 4 stars, not 5 stars, keep in mind. If it was 5 stars, oh my god, I'd be screaming from the rooftops about that. But 4 stars, you need twice as many dupes to get the upgrades, which, why? And also, couldn't you at least be nice and just give me half of this upgrade? Give me 9% of it for 20 seconds or something? Like, why do you have to do it in this way where you just get nothing? This just seems completely ridiculous. It feels as though This is a game made by a passionate dev team that wanted to make something fun and different in the gacha genre, and then some suits or something got in the way and decided to monetize the absolute hell out of the game. Because at its core, the client is really smooth and good. They have a lot of cool little touches, like this song playing right now. All of the weapons in the game are discs, and they all have their own individual song. And they play when you look at them, and then you can set them to your main menu theme. So this song right here is a 3-star disc that's playing, which is pretty cool. And some of the 5-star discs sound really cool too. I think that's a really unique and interesting touch that they would put on the game. You can tell that it feels like a labor of love made by a bunch of different people, but then something got in the way, and right before launch, they decided to double the amount of currency needed. And I'm gonna be real, even if the currency was half as much, I think a lot of people would be pretty annoyed at the systems too. Yeah, this game even had Linux support day one. Nobody remembers to make something like Linux support. That is unbelievable to me. And then they had a hotfix yesterday, right? Awesome. What do they give us? 1/2 of a pull. Their servers on fire, their Reddit's on fire, social media's on fire everywhere. They give half a pull. That's the compensation. Complete radio silent. They're not talking about anything. It's been over 24 hours since people were upset. I don't know if anything's really going to change. It's actually a shame to see, because I really do feel as though this game could have done all right. It wouldn't have been like bestseller, biggest game ever, but it just kind of got screwed by its management. It's really too bad. I think that this game probably will be somewhat successful in Japan, because I believe Japan really enjoys these types of games. It has a very Blue Archive aesthetic as well, which they definitely like. And also, I think that Japan is a lot more accepting of crappy business practices when it comes to gachas. If you look at most of the games that are popular there, well, you'll see a lot of the same as well. So I think they're a lot more open to that type of thing, but I don't think this game is going to do well at all in the West, and I would say China as well, probably it won't do super well. I think it's too bad though, because I don't think that the developers of this game, the people actually working hands-on this game, really deserve this, because it might not be the best game ever, but it definitely isn't a game that is so bad it deserves to be completely trashed in this manner. I think it's too bad. But anyways, that's my current thoughts on Stella Sora. I think I'm going to keep playing it for a little bit, see if it gets better, see if it gets more difficult, see if they actually give me any more pulls. But I believe that this game advertised 130 pulls on launch, 130 free pulls. I have counted out every single pull that I have done in this game, and I believe it is 130. The 50 pulls on here, I think I got like 30 or 40 on this. Let's see, I got 10 pulls on that. Sorry, 10 on the weapon, 40 on that, and 30 on that. Wow, look at that. 130 free pulls, guys. Beautiful. They would never lie to us. But I see this picture going around, and I think much the same with how they've handled this game and the levels of greed that we are seeing. Also with the poor response of being nothing, and they'll probably wait a week until everyone starts losing interest, and then they'll come out with a big response. Yeah, we're changing everything. But I don't know if that's really even gonna happen. Anyways, thanks so much for watching this video, and I hope to see you guys in the next one.